everybody. Welcome to the first episode of the No Sleep Radio. My name's Passively, and this is Neptune.
Hello, I'm Neptune Man.
Are here to talk about and read creepypastas from the olden days.
What the?
Or new ones.
Dude, that was like. Well, we are gonna read all sorts of new and old. We're probably gonna start with some classic ones to get warmed up into the lesser known horrors. It's kind of like, I guess, Creepcast, because Creepcast started, I believe, with more known horror stories, and then they went off into their own, like, looking for
like stuff that people would
like
send
stories
to them
never
and
heard
stuff,
of.
and
Yeah, which we're not trying to be just like Creepcast at all. At least we're not going to try not to, but
yeah, of course.
They're not the first fucking people to do this.
They're not the first guys
I'm
to
gonna
be
put that out there, dude.
Not the first guys to be two guys with a podcast talking about scary stories.
And they won't be the last. Today we're going to be reading Laughing Jack, which came out what year did this
Laughing
come out?
Jack came out in 2017, so this is
December 19, 2017. That actually is really like, wow.
it's pretty recent for a creepypasta.
That's super recent.
Like
I think the oldest creepypasta was like in 2008.
Yeah, you've got stuff from like 2008, 2009. I think Jeff the Killer came out in like 2012, 2015, something like that.
No, Jeff the Killer came out in 2008.
I'm fact checking that right now.
Fact check. I guarantee you it's 2008. I just know it. I feel it in my heart. In my heart. It's 2008. I know it.
Oh no, Jeff the Killer was created in 2008. You are correct. I don't know why I thought it was like 2015. What came out in 2015?
Slender Man came out in, I think, 2012.
Slender Man originated on June 10th, 2009. So like creepypastas are older.
2009.
Yeah, creepypastas are way older than we think they are.
What?
Internet,
we're out of the game.
The internet's been around
in.
too long. We should get rid of the internet.
Let's just pack it in.
But it was written by Snuff Bomb.
It was written by Snuff Bomb.
Let's see here. Let me see if I can find
right here.
information.
Yeah, I found it. It's right here.
Yeah, it's made by Snuff Bomb in 2017. I don't know anything else about the author or anything. I know that there is another story after this that we're gonna read called, I think, it's like the origin of Laughing Jack, or the true origin of Laughing Jack. And so we're gonna read the original and that one.
Yes, sir. So buckle in and let's get into today's video.
It was a nice summer day. My 5-year-old son James was playing outside in the backyard of our suburban home. James has always been a quiet boy. He plays by himself mostly. He never had any friends, but he's always had a wild imagination. I was in the kitchen feeding our dog Fido when I heard what sounded like James talking to someone in the backyard. I'm not sure who it was. I'm not sure who it was he could be talking to. Could he have finally made a friend? Being a single mom. Oh, okay. I don't know why I automatically read that as it being like a dad, like a single dad. Maybe I've just been like listening. I've just been listening to too many creepypastas recently.
I think inner demons, dude.
Yeah, it's my inner misogyny.
Dude, I couldn't be a mom, bro.
It's my inner misogyny coming out and being like, no, obviously it's a dad. Obviously,
God forbid it's a mom, dude.
Being a single mom, it's hard for me to always keep an eye on my son. So I decided to go outside and check on him. When I went to the backyard, I was a bit confused because James was the only person back there. Was he talking to himself? I could have sworn I heard another voice.
James, it's time to come outside. No, not it. James, it's time to come outside. How about that?
To come inside. I think that's the mom saying that.
Oh. James, it's time to come inside.
I called out to him. He came inside and sat down at the kitchen table. It was about lunchtime, so I decided to make him a turkey sandwich.
James, who are you talking to out there?
I asked. James looked up for a moment.
I was playing with my new friend!
Oh my fucking god. He said, smiling. I poured him some milk and continued to pry, as any good mother would.
Did your friend have a name? Why didn't you... Bach! Does your friend have a name? Why didn't you ask him for lunch with us? Or have lunch... Fuck! My dad! Does your friend have a name? Why didn't you ask him to have lunch with us?
I asked. James sort of stared at me for a moment before replying.
His name is Laughing Jack!
I was a bit taken back by what he said.
Oh, that's a strange name. What does your friend look like?
I was a bit confused.
He's a clown. He has long hair and a big, swirly cone nose. He got long arms and baggy pants with stippy socks and always smiles.
I realized my son was talking about an imaginary friend. I suppose it is normal for kids his age to have imaginary friends, especially when he has no real kids to play with. It's probably just a phase. The rest of the day went by as per usual, and it was starting to get late, so I put James to bed. I tucked him in, gave him a kiss, and made sure to turn on his nightlight before I closed the door. I was pretty tired myself, so I decided to go to bed not long after. I had an awful nightmare. It was dark. I was in some kind of rundown amusement park. I was scared, running through an endless field of empty tents, broken down rides, and abandoned huts. The whole place had a horrible look to it. Everything was black and white. The prized stuffed animals all hung from nooses in the game huts, all with sick grins stitched on their faces. It felt like the whole park was looking at me, even though there wasn't another living thing in sight. Then suddenly, I began to hear music play. The sounds of Pot Goes the Weasel began playing on a squeeze box echoed through the park. It was hypnotizing. I followed its tune to the circus tent almost in a trance, unable to stop my legs from moving forward. It was pitch black. The only light came from a single spotlight shining on the center of the big top. As I walked towards the light, the music slowed down. I found myself singing along, unable to stop.
Well, that's creepy as fuck.
Oh,
what the hell is that?
Yeah, I imagine having a... Okay,
What
honestly,
the fuck?
like, circuses and stuff like that creep me out. Like, carnivals. Not because, like... I guess just... Usually the thing that creeps me out about, like, carnivals and stuff is that I'm just antisocial and there's just a lot of people. But, like, if you've ever been to, like... Because there's a fairgrounds where I live. They don't have, like, carnival stuff set up all the time. Or, like, fair stuff set up all the time. But, like... If you've ever been, like, at that fair or a carnival or anything by yourself and you find a section of the carnival that, like, nobody's in right now because there's just nothing cool over there, and, like, it's still, like, all the, like, you get the smells of the carnival and stuff, like, all the food, and, like, you can hear people, like, screaming in the rides and stuff like that, but it's just this, like, so, like, it's such a lonely feeling to be standing somewhere where you know people should be, but there's no one there.
You know, I don't have that problem because I'm not a loser.
Okay, bro. Okay.
That's it. That's all I'm gonna say, man. I'm gonna tell you.
But don't you don't you agree that, like, it's creepy, like, being somewhere that, like, you know people are supposed to be there, but there's nobody there. Like, if you're, like, in a store, like, right before it's about to close.
No, you know what the creepiest thing is when you go to a church that's closed, there's no one there. It's fucking scary. Have you been just even walking past a church and it's pitch black, nobody's there?
Yeah.
It's just creepy.
Yeah, like going to a church in, like, the middle of the night, or, like,
yeah, it's terrifying. I don't know why it's so scary. It's like the most holy place, but at nighttime it's terrifying.
I think there's a story or a creepypasta about that, about, like, people going to a church at night. I mean, there probably is.
Reinforce my fears. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
This is all you though.
All around the berry bush, the monkey chased the wheel. The monkey threw toss all in fun. There we go.
Okay.
That's all we got, boys. That's one take Jack.
That's that's what they call me. One take Jack.
One take Jack. I can't get any better than that.
The music stopped right before its climax, and suddenly the lights shut on. The intensity of the lights practically blinding. All I could see was a small, dark silhouette shuffle towards me. Then another one appeared, and another, and another. There were dozens of them, all coming towards me. I couldn't move. My legs were frozen. All I could do was watch as the haunting figures drew near. As they got closer, I could see they were children. Damn. I don't know. Kids creep me the fuck out. Not like real kids, but, like, if I've ever had,
bro
like,
hates kids.
No.
Fucked up.
But, like, I don't know. Kids do some weird shit.
I mean, kids can be definitely creepy. I could definitely agree with that. They can be the creepiest people. You can be just in the dark, just doing scrolling on your phone, and your niece or nephew or your son or daughter just appears. Boom.
My
Daddy,
so
can I have an ice cream?
when,
I'm scared, dude.
when I was a kid, my brother like would sleepwalk and shit. So I think one night I was like
Fuck
scared.
that,
I was like already scared and stuff. So I was
Drop
like
kick.
so I was like
Drop
sleeping. I was like sleeping with my parents because I was already scared. And then it was the middle of the night, pitch black in my parents' room, and I wake up and my brother is like, it's just like shadowy and dark. My brother is standing over the bed, just like standing there staring at us while we're asleep. And I was like, I was just like, hello? I woke up my mom and dad, and I was literally like, I think he's possessed. He's a demon. He's gone.
That's where we all grab our stuff. You know, grab your keys, your dog, your pictures, any belongings, and just leave them there.
4 years old. I'm telling my parents, you have to put him down. Your darling baby boy is no longer in that vessel.
He's no longer he's no longer with us today. He's a hell spawn.
As I looked at each one, I noticed they were all horribly disfigured and mutilated. Some had cuts all over their body. Others were severely burnt, and others were missing limbs, even eyes. The children enveloped me, clawing at my flesh, dragging me to the ground and tearing inside me. As the children tore me apart and I faded away, all I could hear was laughter. Horrible, awful, evil laughter. How do you feel about now? How do you feel like the children now that they
that's
tore her
fucking
apart
terrifying.
in her dream?
Dude, they're freaking they're like torn, their freaking skin's all fucked up. So I think some of them don't even have a limb. They're missing eyes. Dude, that's like my paralysis demon.
I think that's kind of like the point of like what that was supposed to. It was like a nightmare, but it's kind of like I don't know. I've never had a nightmare that was like that fucked up, I don't think. At least not one that I remember. I woke up the next morning in a cold sweat. After taking a few deep breaths, I looked over and saw that a few of James's action figures were positioned facing me on top of my nightstand.
I'm leaving. Bye, James. Bye. I can make another kid. What's 18 more years?
What happened? What do you do?
No, those kids are... Do you see the toys facing me? Nah.
What did James
do? You think the kid's smart? Do you think the kid's smart enough to do that? No. Bye, James. Bye.
You can live here with your creepy ass imaginary friend if you want.
Bye.
Enjoy.
I'm leaving. I can always make another kid.
You can have
17 more years.
You can have the mortgage all to yourself.
Yeah, bro. I'm just gonna abandon this child. Oh, thank you.
I sighed. James was probably woken up early and put these here. I gathered up the toys and made my way to James's room. However, when I opened the door, James was sound asleep. I just shrugged and placed the toys back into his toy box and headed out to the living room. A little while later, James woke up and I made him breakfast. He was quiet and seemed a bit groggy. Groggy?
Waggy.
He was quiet and seemed a bit groggy. Perhaps he didn't sleep well either. I decided to ask him about the toys.
James, honey, did you put the toys in Mommy's room this morning?
His eyes shot up at me for a moment, then quickly glanced back down at his cereal.
Laughing Jack did it!
I rolled my eyes and responded.
You tell Laughing Jack to keep his fucking toys in your room. I told you! Well, tell Laughing Jack to keep his toys in your room.
James nodded and finished up his breakfast, then decided to go play out in the backyard. I went to relax in the living room. I must have dozed off because I woke up a couple hours later.
Shit! I need to check on James.
I was a bit worried. It had been over 2 hours and I haven't checked on him. Stepped out into the backyard, but James wasn't there anymore. I was getting nervous, so I called out to him.
James! Where are you?
Just then, I heard a giggle from somewhere come from the front yard. I rushed to the gate around at the front of the house. James was sitting on the sidewalk. I breathed a sigh of relief and walked over to him.
James, how many times have I told you to stay in the... James, what are you eating?
James looked up at me, then reached into his pocket and pulled out a handful of hard candies in all colors. James just stared at me, not speaking.
James, please, tell Mommy where you got this candy.
James hung his head down and said, "Do better."
Laughing Jack gave it to me.
Good.
Mommy? stupid bitch.
He hasn't done anything for us to like. Neither of these characters have done anything to like deserve what we're giving them. It's like they've been like, it's been a pretty good like mother son dynamic from like here up until this point. And now it's just like, Laughing Jack gave it to me, you stupid bitch.
You stupid bitch.
He told me to call you a whore. My heart sunk. I kneeled down to look in the eye.
James, I've had enough of this damn Laughing Jack thing. He isn't real. Now, this is a very serious situation. I need to know who gave you that candy, you little fuck.
It's been like a day of him talking about Laughing Jack, and the mom is already fed up with him.
She's already crashing out, bro. I'm tired. He's only mentioned it like 3 times.
Yeah, he's only
Laughing
said
Jack.
something about Laughing. It was like when he came in from like playing outside, and like she was like, "Oh, he has an imaginary friend." That's the first time he mentioned it. And then whenever she saw like the action figures, he mentioned it. He was like, "Oh no, it was Laughing Jack that put them there." And now that he has like the candy, and she's already like, "I'm fucking sick of this shit.
I had it up to here with you. Hey, you. I've had it up to here." Dude, she needs to calm the fuck down, bro. Damn.
I could see my son's eyes tear up.
Wait, Mama, Laughing Jack did give me that candy.
I closed my
bitch.
eyes. I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. James has never lied to me, but what he's telling me is impossible. I make him spit out the candy and I throw the rest away. James appears to be fine. Maybe I'm just overreacting. After all, he could have gotten it from Tom and Linda from next door, or Mr. Walker from down the street. Either way, I'm gonna have to keep a closer eye on James. That night, I put James to bed as usual and decided to go to bed early myself. Laughing Jack hasn't, like, if it is him, he hasn't done anything thus far.
He just gave freaking the kid Adderall, bro. What's the big
All
deal?
he's done is like move some action figures around and make them stare at the mom and give the kid candy.
No, gave him Adderall. We're sticking with Adderall.
Yeah. Adderall for sure.
Everyone knows Adderall makes kids retarded. Donald Trump said that.
I don't know what is warranting the mom to crash out so bad. I don't know.
Because she's a psycho bitch. That's why.
I don't know what's
Simple.
like. I don't know what would make, because okay, don't get me wrong. In a situation where your kid has candy and you have no idea where it came from and they won't tell you, and all that they're telling you is, hey, what I assume to be his imaginary friend gave it to him. In that situation, I would be like, yeah, who the fuck gave you the candy? Like, it had to have been a real person.
Yeah, I think I would think so as well. That if I was a parent, like I was a mom, I wouldn't believe it would be imaginary friend giving it to you.
If you were a mom,
like it's like code word for like the pedophile down the street or something.
That's where my mind would go to. I would stop thinking that it's like his imaginary friend and that it's some like child predator. That is,
it's like a code word.
That's like
for
telling him, like, "Hey, my name is Laughing Jack," and I feel like
what a weird name though. What a weird like code name to give yourself. But you know, that's a different story for a different day.
But
that's kind of weird.
My name is Dangling Jim.
My name's Slimming Jim.
Slimmy.
My name's Slimmy.
Yeah, but I just I get why the mom's worried, but he's only mentioned it 3 times. I don't know why she would like crash out.
She just dude, she just hates Laughing Jack, bro. I fucking so annoyed at this fucking name. That was my high school crush.
That was my high school bully.
Yeah.
Suddenly, I was woken up by a loud bang coming from the kitchen. I sprung out of bed and hurried down the stairs. When I got to the kitchen, I was horrified. Everything on the counters had been thrown to the floor, and our dog Fido hung dead from the light fixture.
Damn! What did fucking Fido do, bro?
What the fuck?
Why would you do it? What happened to him?
It went from, hey, this is my imaginary friend, to, oh, now the action figures are looking at me, to like, oh, now he has candy and I want to know where it's from and shit, to, oh, our dog is hanging from the fucking ceiling? Yeah. This shit went from 0 to 100.
It says its stomach was cut open and stuffed with candy. What? That's crazy.
His stomach was cut open and stuffed with candy. The same type that James was eating earlier that day. My shock was genuinely broken by a sharp scream coming from James's room. followed by loud crashes. I quickly grabbed a knife from the drawer and moved up the stairs with the speed that only a mother whose child is in danger could have. I burst through the door and flicked on the lights. Everything in the room was knocked over and tossed on the floor. My poor son in his bed, crying and shaking with fear, a pool of urine staining the sheets. I scooped my child up and ran out of the house and went next door to Tom and Linda's house. Honestly, like, I'm gonna finish the sentence. I'm
gonna beat up this kid for peeing on my sheets. That's all I'm gonna say.
This is actually like really good, like portrayal of what I think a mother would do in this situation.
Well, yeah, they would freaking just, if they really love their child, they're gonna bolt upstairs to make sure their child's safe. But you hear a giant crash and just your child screaming. You can just think of the worst what's gonna happen. It could be some intruder or a pedophile or a pedophile.
Pedophile. But this is like exactly what I would expect like my mom to do if I was younger and shit like this was happening. Except my mom like for sure watched like Nightmare on Elm Street and shit like that. She would definitely think that Freddy Krueger is real and go running down the street without me.
She did. Friend, did she, dude?
No, my mom would have.
That's
crazy.
She
would have grabbed me and my siblings. They let me use their phone and I called the police. It didn't take them long to arrive, and I explained what had happened. They looked at me as if I were crazy. They searched the house, but all they found was the dead dog and 2 trashed rooms. The officer told me that someone had probably gotten into the house and done this right before making a quick escape. When they heard me coming down the stairs, I knew it wasn't true. All the doors were locked and none of the windows were open. Whatever was in my house didn't come from outside.
Was it in the walls? He's in the goddamn walls.
So what are you thinking right now? Like, what are your thoughts right now?
I'm assuming it's like it is imaginary friend, but this one's like a demon that maybe possessed, like manifest himself to disguise himself as Laughing Jack because it's like a demon. That's what I think.
Okay, I've never read this story either. I'm just familiar with like what Laughing Jack looks like and stuff like that, just from creepypastas and stuff when I was younger.
Maybe it's also like a psycho killer that escaped like a psych ward, and like, man, like I don't know, bro. It has to be a spirit because he said that he was talking to his friend Laughing Jack, and he wasn't even there, which like the mom didn't even see her there, so it can't be an actual person, like an actual like human.
Do you think that maybe it's like the mom? Do you think he's hiding from the mom, like intentionally going away when the mom's around, or do you think that it's like the mom can't see him?
I don't think the mom can see him. I think this is an entity. I don't think it's like the mom is going psycho crazy and she's the one making all this up. You know, like it's all through her head. I think it's an actual entity.
Well, I'm saying that like if it is an actual entity, do you think it's something that like every time the mom comes around and he's like around James, he's like hiding or like going away whenever she's there, or is it
I don't think
she physically just cannot see him?
I think it's a mixture of both. I don't think he's strong enough to actually manifest himself all the way through. I don't think he has a hold on the kid enough to be able to manifest himself completely to the mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
he's not strong enough yet.
I get what you're saying. It could definitely be something like that. Like he doesn't have like a hold enough on like reality.
He doesn't have
to be able to.
He doesn't have like he doesn't have enough for it. You know.
Maybe we'll see. Maybe we'll get some answers. The next day, James stayed inside. I didn't want him to leave my sight. I went into the garage and found his old baby monitor and set it up in his room. If anything comes into it tonight, I was going to be able to hear it. I went to the kitchen and grabbed the largest knife from the drawer and put it on my nightstand. Imaginary friend or not, I'm not letting anyone hurt my little boy. I think with the baby monitor stuff, I think we're about to get some answers to some of the questions we had.
Yeah.
Soon enough, night came. I put James to bed. He was afraid, but I promised him I wasn't going to let anything happen to him. I tucked him in, gave him a kiss, and turned on the nightlight. Before closing the door, I whispered to him,
"Good night, James. I love you, bitch."
I love you, bitch. I ain't never gonna stop loving you, bitch. I tried to stay up as long as I could, but after a few hours, I felt myself drifting off. My baby would be safe for the night, and I needed to sleep. Just as I laid my head on the pillow, I heard a soft noise come from the baby monitor. Ooh. I'd put it on my nightstand. At first, it sounded like interference, like the kind a radio would make. Then it turned into a soft moan. Was James asleep? Then I heard it. The laugh from my nightmare. That horrible laugh. I sprung I sprung from my bed and grabbed the knife from under my pillow. I rushed over to James's room and creaked the door open. I tried the light switch, but it wouldn't come on. I took a step in, and I could feel the warm, thick liquid on my feet. Suddenly, James's nightlight came on, and I could see the absolute horror laid out in front of me. James's
That's
body
fucking disgusting.
was nailed up on the wall, the nails piercing through his hands and feet. His chest was cut wide open, and his organs hung down to the floor. His eyes and tongue had been removed along with most of his teeth. I was disgusted. I could hardly believe this was my baby boy. Then I heard it again. The soft, desperate moan. James was still alive.
Still alive?
Oh my god.
Still alive? How are you still alive? You're freaking disemboweled. You're hung. You have no eyes. I'm guaranteeing your probably tongue's not there no more.
Yeah, I think, his eyes and tongue had been removed, along with most of his teeth. It's insane, dude. How, like,
isn't he disemboweled too?
Yeah, his organs hung down from to the floor. So he's nailed to the wall, cut, like, gutted like a fish.
Bro, he has to be in agonizing pain. What the fuck? Laughing Jack, you're not the homie no more, bro. I don't want you coming near my house ever again.
My baby. My poor baby. In so much pain, barely clinging to life, I ran across the room and vomited on the floor, but my sickness was interrupted by a horrible cackle coming from behind me. I spun around while still wiping bile from my mouth. Then out of the shadows emerged the fiend responsible for all this horror, Laughing Jack. His ghost white skin and matted black hair hung down to his shoulders. He had piercing white eyes surrounded by dark black rings. His twisted smile revealed a row of sharp, jagged teeth, and his skin didn't look like skin at all. It mostly looked like rubber or plastic. He wore a patchy black and white clown outfit, with striped sleeves and socks. His body itself was grotesque. His long arms hanging down past his waist, and the way he was poised made him look almost boneless, like a rag doll. Imagine seeing your disemboweled little, like, son hanging, like, nailed up onto the wall, and then from behind you, out of the fucking shadows, comes, like, a living, like, doll-looking creature.
It's like, I wonder if it's one of those action figures, actually, that was staring at her. I wonder if he was one of them. Because she said it was, like, plastic and rubber. And that's what the toys are.
Imagine all that, like, the child hanging up on the wall and stuff, and then behind you, you see what looks to be, like, a living fucking Looney Tune come out of the shadows.
Bye, James.
Whenever I picture Laughing Jack, from what I can remember what he looks like from fan art and stuff like that, is like he looks like a cartoon character. Like,
yeah, he looks like a Shirigami. Like, he looks exactly like the Shirigami from Death Note.
Yeah, he looks like, yeah.
He looks like he's with L. Or no, what's his name? Is that L?
No, it's Light.
Yeah, with Light.
Yeah, but that's crazy. He let out a sickening laugh, as if to let me know he was pleased with my reaction to his work. He then turned around slowly in front of James and began to laugh even more at the horrific sight he has laid out. That was enough to shake me from my terror. I snapped.
Get away from him, you bastard!
I rushed at the monster, raising the knife above my head and stabbed down at him. But as soon as the knife touched him, he disappeared in a cloud of black smoke. The knife passed right through and pierced James's still beating heart, splashing the warm blood on my face. She just killed her fucking son. Like, don't get me wrong, he was probably gonna die anyway from blood loss and shit, but she just stabbed him in the heart. No. What have I done?
That's fucking crazy.
My baby. I killed my baby. I immediately fell to my knees, and I could hear sirens in the distance growing louder. My boy. My sweet baby boy. I promised Mommy would protect you, but I failed. I'm sorry, James. I'm so sorry. Police soon arrived to find me in front of my son, still wielding the knife covered in my baby's blood. The trial was short. Insanity. I was placed in the Ferropoulos house for the criminally insane, where I've been for the past 2 months. It's not so bad here. The only reason I'm awake now is because someone is playing Pop Goes the Weasel outside my window. I'll talk to the orderlies about it in the morning. How do you feel about the ending?
Fucked up. bro.
I want to hear all of your thoughts.
Dude, oh my god, dude. The kid gets disemboweled, blinded, freaking tongue ripped out, and hung up. Let alone that. You got a fucking demon laughing at you, plus you're still alive with all of that. And then you also have your mom that plunged the knife into your heart and killed you.
Yeah.
Like, that mom has to be traumatized.
I mean,
Bad.
she's in an insane asylum. Like, she is like for the criminally insane.
Yeah, that is just
Now,
oh my god.
How do you feel about like the last couple lines? The I'm only awake now. The only reason I'm awake now is because someone is playing Pop Goes the Weasel outside my window. And that Pop Goes the Weasel, what she heard in her dream. Where like the
that might be Laughing Jack's signature.
Like his theme, like his theme song.
Yeah, like his theme song.
I don't know if there's like a sequel to this. I know there is like the prequel that we're gonna read, which is like the origin of Laughing Jack or blah blah blah. All right, everybody. My thoughts on like Laughing Jack in general are just like I don't know. I feel like the story progressed way too fast.
Yeah, I didn't really have good like progression.
It just kind of jumped straight from like the mysterious kind of stuff to like, oh, maybe my kid's talking to like, oh, maybe it's an imaginary friend, straight to like, oh, now our dog's dead. And they like went over to the neighbors, and there wasn't anything really with that. There was a lot of places that there could have been scenarios where people could talk to each other or explain what's happening or like blah blah blah. And they just didn't. Like, she didn't talk to her son more about his imaginary friend, even though she knew that his son wasn't like very talkative or very like extroverted or social. He didn't have a lot of friends or anything. Like, if my son, like if I had a son and he like wasn't very social and stuff, and then even if he did start talking to like an imaginary friend, I would be like interested and be like, oh, okay, well, because that's a way for him to like figure out how to be more social and like make friends. But she just kind of asked, who are you talking to? He said it was Laughing Jack. She said, oh, it's probably an imaginary friend. That was the end of it.
And she crashed out.
And then, yeah. And then whenever he said, hey, oh, yeah, this stuff has happened because of Laughing Jack, she was like, I'm fucking sick of you.
He only said it 3 times.
Yeah.
He only talked about 3 different occasions.
And it wasn't like, and it wasn't even him talking about it. She asked. And he was like, oh, well, it's Laughing Jack. Yeah. So I think that's it for right now. I think that's going to be the end of this episode. We are going to read, if this video gets enough likes or engagement and stuff on like YouTube or Spotify or anything, we will read part 2. Or not, maybe not. It's not part 2. It's like the prequel, which is like the origin of Laughing Jack. If this video gets enough engagement or anything, we will read that one. Or like the channel and stuff, the new channel and stuff like that gets enough engagement, then we will read the prequel. But anyway, that was it. Thank you for listening to No Sleep Radio, and I hope you guys have a good one.
Wait! Make sure to check out our channels as well. Check out Passive's channel. He does stuff, and us as well, down in the description. We hope you guys do enjoy, and we'll see you guys in the next pod. Bye!
Bye-bye!